We do not want to be a democracy. Originally, congressmen were elected by a direct democracy, senators were elected by their state legislatures, and presidents are elected by the Electoral College.
That sounds about right. What's wrong with that?
We are devolving into a democracy because now congressmen and senators are elected by the same pool, a direct democracy. And with the national popular vote coming, we're going to be electing our president by a direct democracy too. Bad idea.
Donald Trump did say, as we talked about this on his first day, he was going to be a dictator. And would you rather have 4 years of Donald Trump as a dictator or 4 years of Joe Biden as a president?
4 years of Donald Trump as a dictator if he's going to make the country better. You know, I believe what Donald Trump says, and, you know, if he says it, then I'll go with it. And if he wants to be a dictator, then so be it. He's the president of the United States of America, and he would be my president.
Does he realize there's a difference between a dictator and a president?
Would you rather have 4 years of Donald Trump as a dictator or 4 years of Joe Biden as a president?
4 years of Trump as a dictator.
How come?
From all that I saw him do, I like everything he does. And Joe Biden, I haven't really approved of nothing he does. He seems like he likes to back down on everything, and he can't hold his power.
Essentially, what these people want is a king. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, the interviewer was saying, would you rather have a Biden presidency for 4 years, or would you rather have a dictatorship under Trump for 4 years? Well, the whole definition of dictatorship is that it goes beyond 4 years, doesn't end, it just keeps going. So for these people that are saying they'd rather have a dictatorship for 4 years, just know that when a dictator comes in, even if you're somebody who loves Donald Trump, just know that when he passes away because of age as a dictator, Donald Trump Jr. would have to be the next king. Just, that's how monarchies work.
What was Donald Trump right about? Every damn thing.
So just know, if you're some crazy person who's voting for Donald Trump, just know that his son would end up being the king after. Just letting you know. Just know that you're okay with it. If you're okay with that, then vote. By all means, vote away. This is a crazy thing that's happening. The Republicans, though, you saw the lady earlier who was talking about how we don't want to be a democracy. Well, the fear that that lady has, that people on the right have, is that every time we've had a popular vote in many of the last elections, in most of the last elections, by popular vote, Democrats have won. The Democratic presidential candidate has won. But because of the Electoral College, the presidents, we've had Republican presidents, whether it was Donald Trump or it was George Bush Jr. or George Bush Sr. or what have you. So the truth is that a majority of the country tends to be Democrat over Republican, but Republicans are worried about that because they're saying if we make voting easier, if we make the country actually a democratic country where majority votes win, then we're going to end up in a situation where we won't have as many Republicans winning. And that includes another reason why there's all this gerrymandering. There's all these things that the Republican Congress was trying to do to take away or make it harder for people to vote. Like famously this past season on Curb Your Enthusiasm, they made it a whole thing where in Georgia, they voted that you can't give someone water if they're standing in line for an election because they might be thirsty. They're standing there, they're waiting to vote, but it's illegal now to give them water because they want to make it so it's harder for people to vote, so that someone who's standing in line and gets really thirsty might go, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to vote, I'm going to go home. And they feel that that's going to be to the benefit of the Republicans. Now, why are the Republicans so set on finding ways of winning when they know clearly that their numbers are diminishing and that the world in general is probably becoming more progressive as young people are more and more introduced in this world of elections and voting? Well, the reason that Republicans want that is they've got a lot of things on their agenda that they want to make happen. There's something called Project 2025, which is supposed to be, that's basically from the Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative foundation that brings a lot of the ideas to conservative thought. And they are the ones who have a lot of ideas about fighting against any kind of progress the Biden administration has made towards climate change, fighting against wanting to have more fossil fuels, wanting to have less government, oversight of a lot of stuff. They really believe in capitalism is great. That's their mentality. Capitalism is great. They also tend to be more religious on the right. These are the types of organizations who came about and took away a woman's right to choose. So Donald Trump might be a clown. He might say some crazy stuff like the Time interview. If you haven't read the Time interview, read the Time interview. He talks about how he wants to have a national force deporting something like 11 million people from this country, which would mean you'd be driving around and there'd be military and army reserves just pulling over brown people because they look like they might be illegal and trying to deport them. It's going to be a chaotic situation. It will be a dictatorship. He wants to allow states that want to arrest women or doctors involved in any kind of abortions that they can be arrested. So there's a lot of stuff that they're doing that are the opposite of progressive. And a lot of this comes and can be seen in this Project 2025 by the Heritage Foundation. You should read it. It's really scary. So Donald Trump might be a clown, but these people are serious. And if you really want to have your freedoms come 2025, you better register to vote, and you better not vote for these people because they have some crazy ideas. I come from a country, Iran, which is now the Islamic Republic of Iran, which has a lot of its laws based on religion, and they took away many of women's rights. They took away LGBTQ rights. They've taken away religious minority rights, and on and on and on. America will become the Christian Republic of America if you vote for these people who want to end democracy, as that lady said, who want to have a king. They want to have a king. So things look grim, but I hope that you register to vote. I hope you register to vote blue. By the way, one of those guys in the interview said that Biden's policies, he doesn't like Biden's policies. The truth is Biden's policies have probably helped this guy a lot more than Trump's policies ever did. Biden passed the infrastructure bill that's bringing jobs to America and is bringing more funds into the economic system in America. Biden got us out of this the pandemic, and they've been trying to deal with this recession that we haven't had, but with the inflation that we had, and they brought the inflation down, way down. Biden's administration was the administration that brought the cost of medicine down for people like this guy who probably would need health insurance and medical help at some point. So these people that keep saying that Biden administration has not done anything are just watching the wrong the networks and believing all the talk that they're seeing. But the Biden administration actually has done some stuff. But more importantly, let's not forget that their goal is to install a king who would not be there for 4 years. He'd be there forever, or until there were a revolution or a civil war. So please register to vote. Vote blue. Don't vote in these nut jobs. I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I have a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. Check it out. If you like it, tell your friends. If you don't like it, keep it to yourselves.